Greetings, and yeah, Christmas 2019 is just over with. New Year's is upon us, and so is a new decade, which is, well, it only comes around once every decade. So I figured I'd go thrifting one final time in the 20-teens before we reach the 2020s. Right, let's go thrifting. And off we go, visiting this Goodwill for one final time before the decade ends. And the next decade begins in like 4 days, so whatever. And just getting inside here, and oh man, who left the dog out? Aw, Goodwill needs a good boy mascot. I nominate Buggy Dog. Over on the back shelf of electronic stuff, this Sharp stereo stood out for being, it's not the sharpest looking, but Sharp brand, and it's just larger than I normally see with a 50-disc CD changer. Yeah, that's a beefier all-in-one system than I normally see. Yeah, but whatever, there was this thing that I saw at the corner of my eye when I got over here. What in the world, man? There's not much around back, like at all, and I just don't even know what this design is. The front sticker seemed to imply it was some kind of a game, and it turns out it is. By a company called Merch Source. It's called the Black Series Hover Target Game. Yeah, it's like a plastic candelabra that shoots out air from its holes and hovers ping pong balls, and you try to hit them with a dart gun. That's a thing. Just down from there on the other shelf is some stuff that sort of stood out for being slightly different, like this older pair of wireless infrared headphones. Never used IR headphones, but I can't imagine they work too great. I don't know. Also had a pretty average example of a Polaroid Square Shooter 2 land camera. Haven't seen one of these in a while. And then there was this electronic slab of sorts. It really just had two buttons, backspace and start. Certainly a foot pedal for some sort of electronic system, and yeah, around here on the back you can see it's a Panasonic RP2692, which confirms that it is indeed a foot pedal for a transcriber, a dictation recording type of machine for like microcassettes, like the Panasonic RR930. And down below there we've got a record player with a kind of amusing aesthetic. No needle, apparently. But yeah, this is a Sears system. One of those that I was drawn to simply because of the aesthetic. I don't know, that slanted metallic front, the chunky sliders, and the simplistic insides. It's a cheap thing, no doubt, but I was really close to getting it just because it was so simple. Anyway, didn't get it. And down from there is one of these phones that anytime I see them I get a slight little bit of excitement, and then I realize it's just that stupid same one that I've seen so many times. It's just a simple touch tone phone made to look older than it actually is, with coin mechanisms that don't actually work, I don't think. Or maybe they do, I don't know. The whole thing's plastic. Over in the media section, and there were actually a few PC games in their smaller boxes. Roller Coaster Tycoon 3 Platinum. Of course, I already have that, highly enjoy it. And there's also Stronghold 2 over here. Also have this, but I don't know, I'm pointing them out because look, here it is. It's pointed out. Let's see, what do we got over here in the randomness section? We've got 2-speed electric scissors. This lady on front, why is she here? Did she make her clothes using these scissors? Did she cut her hair using them? Is this a veiled threat? I don't know what to think. Anyway, old scissors that are electric scare me. And speaking of scary, but oddly intriguing, there is this thing. I think it's a candle holder. It's really hard to tell. It's highly unique and handmade and $13. Yeah, I see you there. I see you. Right, on to another Goodwill. Fun fact, the Lucky Rock here runs out of luck in just 4 days, so let's see what we got. And what we've got are a bunch of Christmas leftovers, of course, including these very bedazzling looking presents that are all lit up, and the usual stacks of used Christmas trees. It's just incredibly sad. Used fake trees, it's a special kind of melancholy. Alright, over in the media and whatnot, there's a few PC things hanging around here, mostly really boring stuff like 500 legal documents. Now this one sure grabbed my attention because it said Space Quest. It's not that Space Quest, but it did also say 3.5-inch diskette, but this is a CD case, and yeah, this is one of those jewel cases, usually that will hold a CD, but has a special insert to hold a 3.5-inch floppy diskette, which is pretty darn cool. I only have a few of these in my collection. I don't know why I didn't get this. I should have gotten this. And I normally don't look at too much in the audio CD section, but I saw these old, now this is what I call music releases, like Now 3 here, and yeah, The instant odd 90s nostalgia this brings back. I'm not even sure if it's nostalgia, it's just like weird memories. Haven't resurfaced in almost exactly 20 years. Anyway, seemed appropriate, and considering this is the end of 2019, this was the end of 1999, heading into the year 2000. Over on another media shelf, I saw this intriguing stack of fragile document mailers, all sent out from the Chicago Daily News Language Records label, apparently. These are all like 10-inch language learning series. Like, learn a language, 33 and a third RPM language lessons on records. Many of them appearing to be brand new or very close to it. Yeah, just an odd assortment. I love seeing this stuff. Oh man, haven't seen one of these in Goodwill yet. This is one of the Pip-Boy cell phone holders that goes on your wrist from Fallout 4's whatever edition. They're charging $80 for it, which actually seems to be about the going rate. And over next to this weighing machine that weighed like 1 billion pounds, I saw this big bobber floating cooler. It's a cooler that looks like a fishing bobber. Yeah, I guess it's a cooler that floats beside your boat. A common enough idea, but an uncommon design. I approve. Ah, man, buddy, I feel you. Look at that. He's been through the New Year's hangover, and it's not even quite New Year's yet. All right, getting over to the electronics, and we got some classics. These Gateway 2000 speakers. Altic Lansing ACS 41s. I'd actually like to get a nice set of these if they had the subwoofer and the power supply, which this does not. A shelf up from there, we had some intriguing items, some cameras, a Konica C35 I quite like the look of, as well as this Olympus 35 ECR. Compact little metal cameras like this just feel nice in the hands, unlike that very plastic older Polaroid back there. And these very plastic, cheap garbage VR headsets that, again, as I've said many times on LGR Thrifts, these are just littering stores these days. It really is kind of a sign of the times. Like, at the end of this decade, these are just everywhere. Ah, man, this brings back unfortunate retail memories, especially around the Christmas holiday season. Retail workers don't get no respect, man, especially in toy sections. Anyway, I wanted to try to see if I can get over there and take a look at the puzzles and board games, and not a whole lot. That's how it goes. Although I did see one thing over here. Not a game, but a piece of software, a Broderbund 3D Home Architect Deluxe 3.0. And I have this one already. Well, I think it's maybe a little bit older, but yeah, these are fun. Don't know why I haven't done a video about them yet. Okay, over in the whatever this is section, and there's a bunch of whatever this is, including this thing. It is a Dynex USB parallel converter cable. Plug your older printer into a more modern machine. Nothing terribly special, it's just I don't see these too often, much less new in a package like this. Also don't see this new in package very often either. Look at Geo Safari, classic inserts here. This is the Wonders of the Smithsonian pack. Yeah, it still had its price sticker from Toys & Co. on there. I was always amused by these as a kid. Oh, and what do we have here? This is a delightful little basket of calculators. Actually, some pretty interesting ones in here. Several graphing calculators from Casio, Sharp, and of course, Texas Instruments. And some older scientific stuff like this TI-30 here from the late 70s. And even one of the venerable HP 12Cs, which they still sell. Shame this one had an R scratched into the gold on front, but it had its case. It's only $5, so yeah, I hope somebody picks this up that knows what it is, because these are nice, man. Reverse Polish notation. The Goodwill searches continue with another Goodwill. And right up front on top of the glass case is this Mansfield 650 8mm film editor. And Mansfield, is this satisfying to mess with? All those metal components and I don't know. Metal, it just feels good. And we got this PreSonus bag over here on top of some furniture. What is this? Well, it appears to be a drum pad from Yamaha, a DD65. A friend of mine had a less advanced version of this back in the day. Had a lot of fun banging around on that, that's for sure. And what do we have here? We got a Wii Tower of Power of sorts. This is quite the setup. You got spaces for games and controllers and I guess the Wii itself. Gotta wonder how many of these things sold. Balls. Over in the kitchen stuff, and what do we have here? Looks like an old school pour-over coffee maker of sorts. Yeah, it's a Bodum design thing. It's very red, very plastic, seemingly from the UK or Europe.
Denmark.
I like making pour-over coffees, so it had my attention. Alrighty, board games and other things, and this stood out because not English. This appears to be a puzzle for trains. Yes, Bullet Train Puzzle. That is one of the most delightfully Japanese things I have ever seen. I kinda love it. This is interesting over here. I almost thought it was a couple packs of cigarettes, but nope, it's a couple packs of playing cards for Carnival Cruise Lines. The most popular cruise line in the world. Definitely an older Carnival, judging by the photography and logos and whatnot. That's pretty neat. Ah man, speaking of older stuff, check this classic crock pot out. Hamilton Beach Crock Watcher. This brings back memories. Daggone it, I swear, I saw this thing in like every other holiday thing that happened as a kid. Did seriously everyone have one of these in this design or something very close to it? Because man, yeah, it's a little different, at least for the keyboard section at Goodwill's. I got a Razer keyboard here of some kind. Very flat one, chiclet style keys and such. I don't know what model it is. It looks like the stickers were taken off the back. But yeah, $9 for, you know, not saying it's a great keyboard. It's just a little different in terms of brand than you normally see. What is this wood grain wrapped monstrosity? From, DBX no less. Check out that in and out in the back. There's a couple of fuses, and oh man, those cones are not in great shape, unfortunately. No sticker on the back either, but it looks like a DB SW2x6. Yeah, it's a subwoofer speaker system. It's pretty cool, man. Rarely see older subs like this. And check this out. Exactly the type of clock radio that I am eternally attracted to, and I don't even know. It looks awesome. Looks fantastic. I think we've hit a motherlode of sorts in terms of boring software. Actually, there's some intriguing things in here. A lot of big box stuff, all the way from the late 80s to the early 2000s, most of which I'm not interested in, or I already have it, or I just, it's kind of interesting, but it's rather beat up. But these were all between $3 and $5 each, so I picked up a few of them. Got the Merriam-Webster Online Dictionary Thesaurus for Windows 3, Rivers and Waterfalls, Screensavers Wallpaper Pack, Fractal Chaos, Screensaver for Windows, Expert Travel Planner for Windows 3, and My Internet Postage by Stamps.com. Yep, that's Stamps.com. This not only comes packed with a lot of old school postage supplies inside, but you could also just print out postage right here, not even getting on the internet at all, just using the software. Still sealed, pretty neat. Alrighty, and we got one more Goodwill to check out for the end of the decade here, and yeah, they are still building that building over the building. Don't know what it is. There's no signs up that I see that say what it's going to be here, but obviously it's a thing in very close proximity to Goodwill. So we'll see in 2020. And right inside on top of the glass case, I had a few interesting things here, but mostly this Thomas Collector's Edition radio, number 75 of a limited run apparently. Despite the 1930s appearance, it is definitely not that old as a recreation, but it's pretty cool. Speaking of radios that could be considered, quote, pretty cool, I got this transparent deal here that is not just a transparent AM/FM radio, but it's also one of those hand cranking ones for emergency situations or whatever you need a hand crank radio for, an emergency radio, we'll call it that. Nice idea on the part of the manufacturer to make it transparent because you can see the gizmo inside doing its thing. Yeah, that right there automatically makes this more amusing than any other hand cranked radio I've ever had. Over in the electronic junk section, there's some electronic junk, including a super loud phone ringer. Never miss another call. I just like that it says super loud. Not just loud, it's super. A shelf down from that, this grabbed my attention. First for that classic JVC design, but then just because of what it is, the XL R5010 CDR. Yep, it's a compact disc recordable, actually 3 of them. Perfect kind of late 90s pirating device right there. That's actually pretty darn cool. Speaking of pirate devices, I got this Go Video DDV 9050 VHS copier, as well as this realistic high-power video audio tape eraser. Man, seriously, somebody was into copying some stuff back in the day. Fun times. Look at this little tchotchke. This is exactly the type of thing I remember seeing on like my mom's manager's desk at the hotel back in the day. Sporty Memos. It's just like a little golden clippy thing that holds things into place and looks like a thing. In this case, a tennis racket. That's amusing. See what's over here. We got some older looking bottles. Yeah, I'll say. Federal law forbids sale or reuse of this bottle. I like old bottles like this. Don't know what I would do with them, but I approve. Checking out the VHS section over here, and my goodness, somebody had a whole collection going on and didn't open most of them. Seems to be a complete selection of the Waltons from Columbia House on VHS. Man, like seriously, every episode. Gotta wonder the situation where somebody bought all of these and then just never opened them. Oh, dang, this must be the day for Goodwills with slightly interesting keyboards. I got this Fantech K10 Hunter backlit pro gaming keyboard over here. Oh man, that Sony Spider-Man font on the keys. And despite the mechanical appearances, this is absolute garbage to type on. What in the world? Yeah, it's got all these impressive sounding specs around back, but the switches, they're non-existent. And what do we have here on this table? At first I thought it was just a bunch of vinyl laid out on top of each other, but no, it's actually an art piece, all glued together. That's a bunch of albums in one piece for a wall. Man, how many is that? It's gotta be a record. And then finally, on the end caps here, I noticed all of these boxes marked as $1 today only soap dispensers. I mean, I don't need one, but it's $1. It's a battery-powered soap dispenser. I'm getting one. And there we go. That is it for the final episode of LGR Thrifts for this decade. This is episode 44. Yeah, look at the things that I got. Maybe not the most impressive to everyone, but these amuse me. So yeah, I got a internet postage, big box thing, dictionary, waterfall, screensaver, travel planner, fractal chaos, and a friggin' $32,499 Kimberly-Clark professional soap dispenser, because why not? It was $1. Pretty nice looking battery powered soap dispenser right there. Kind of looks like a stormtrooper. Now I guess I just need some soap. Apparently that's like $25 a bag, so that's where they get you. Give away the razor, sell the blades, etc., etc. Anyway, that's all for this episode of Thrifts. And as usual, thank you for supporting the show and requesting more episodes and sending in your own thrifting finds over however many months it's been since the last one. Has it been months? It feels like months. I don't know. It's a long time sometimes between these just because it's not always the most opportune time to go thrifting throughout the year. Usually this time of year is a little bit slower, but you know, is what it is. So thank you for sending in your own finds so I can include them here. And as usual, thank you very much for watching. We'll see you in the next episode, next year, next decade, all that kind of stuff.